Murder on the Atlantic, the secret of RMS Lusitania and America's entry into war. Welcome listeners back to History Radio, where we pull back the curtain of history to seek the truth behind the legends and the most harrowing mysteries. We've tracked the vanished footsteps of the 115 souls at Roanoke, and we've shivered at the cosmic chaos of Tunguska. Today we confront a more modern tragedy, an event shrouded in the fog of war and political intrigue that not only stole the lives of nearly 1,200 innocent people, but forever altered the course of the First World War. This is the story of RMS Lusitania, Cunard's proud greyhound of the ocean, and the secrets surrounding its death beneath the cold waters of the Atlantic. The Guise of Glory, RMS Lusitania. To understand the tragedy, one must first understand the Lusitania. She was more than just a ship, she was a symbol. Launched in 1906, the Lusitania represented the pinnacle of naval engineering of her time. Along with her sister ship, Maritime, she was Britain's definitive answer to Germany's growing maritime ambitions. Measuring over 800 feet long and boasting superior speed, holding the blue ribbon for the fastest transatlantic crossing, the Lusitania was an icon of power and luxury. Inside, she was a floating palace, featuring gilded dining rooms, electric elevators, and lavish suites for the world's wealthiest passengers. But beneath the opulent exterior, the Lusitania carried a secret few passengers knew. World War I erupted in 1914. Despite being a civilian liner, the Lusitania had been constructed with a subsidy from the British Admiralty. Her design included the capability to be quickly converted into an armed merchant cruiser. More crucially, the British Navy had already installed hidden gun mounts and used portions of her hull for the transport of confidential materials. The Lusitania, this luxurious passenger liner, was sailing in a war-torn ocean, wearing a fragile veneer of civilian neutrality. The dire warning: by May 1915, the Lusitania was preparing for her final voyage from New York to Liverpool. The naval conflict in the Atlantic had escalated to extreme danger. Germany had declared the waters around the British Isles a war zone, where U-boats would sink any enemy vessel without warning. On the morning of May 1, 1915, as passengers prepared to board the ship at Pier 54 in New York, a strange and ominous thing occurred. The German embassy in Washington, D.C. placed an urgent warning advertisement in 50 major American newspapers, positioned right next to the Cunard Line's official sailing notice. The warning stated clearly, "Travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies, and Great Britain. Vessels sailing into those waters are liable to destruction." The Lusitania was the obvious target, yet an abiding confidence in her superior speed and the expected protection of the British Navy reassured both the passengers and the crew. 1,959 people boarded the vessel, including many prominent and wealthy American citizens, believing that no U-boat could possibly catch the greyhound of the ocean. They were terribly wrong. The hunt in the fog. While the Lusitania steamed eastward, a patient predator lay waiting beneath the waves. It was U-20, a German heavy U-boat commanded by Captain Walter Schwieger. In the preceding days, U-20 had been patrolling the waters off the Irish coast, sinking 3 smaller merchant ships. Her fuel was running low, and Schwieger was already turning back toward base. On May 7, 1915, the Lusitania approached the southern coast of Ireland. The ship was entering the declared danger zone, but she was about to commit a series of catastrophic tactical errors. The first mistake: the British Admiralty failed to provide a naval escort for the Lusitania, despite the clear danger and request from the ship's captain. This remains a massive black mark on Britain's record, a decision many believe was strategically deliberate. The second mistake: Captain William Turner of the Lusitania did not strictly adhere to basic Admiralty safety guidelines, which included traveling in a zigzag pattern to evade torpedoes and maintaining maximum speed through the danger zone. Instead, he reduced his speed to 18 knots and steered a straight course to pinpoint his location. The reason for this reduction in speed remains fiercely debated. Just as the Lusitania was slowly cruising past the old head of Kinsale Lighthouse in Ireland, the fog lifted. Captain Schwieger of the U-20, peering through his periscope, could hardly believe his luck. 2 torpedoes, 2 explosions, or just one. At 2:10 p.m., Captain Schwieger gave the order to fire. A single torpedo left the U-20, slicing through the water. 86 seconds later, it slammed into the Lusitania's starboard side, directly below the bridge. The Lusitania was rocked by a massive explosion, but the true horror was the second, much larger explosion that immediately followed, mere seconds after the first impact. This blast, described by witnesses as far more violent than the torpedo strike, tore the ship apart from the inside. The Lusitania took on an uncontrollable rapid list. Her giant funnels spewed black smoke. Lifeboats on the port side could not be lowered due to the extreme tilt. Chaos and panic gripped the vessel. Just 18 minutes after being struck, the Lusitania, the fastest and most luxurious liner in the world, plunged to the bottom of the ocean, taking 1,198 lives with her. The central question: why the second explosion? That second explosion is the core of all the mystery and political controversy, and it is why this story continues to haunt us. The German claim: the German government immediately declared that the second explosion was caused because the Lusitania was illegally carrying a massive cargo of munitions, gunpowder, and explosives. They argued that, under international law, carrying arms on a civilian passenger ship made the Lusitania a legitimate military target. Historical evidence later confirmed that the Lusitania did indeed carry thousands of cases of rifle ammunition, shell casings, and even nitrocellulose, a highly volatile explosive. The British denial: Britain vehemently denied this, claiming the Lusitania carried only harmless civilian cargo and blaming the tragedy entirely on German barbarism. Yet historians and divers have since found undeniable evidence of the war material. The coal dust theory. Another theory suggests the torpedo breached a coal bunker, and the highly flammable coal dust ignited upon contact with the air. However, the second explosion was too massive to be easily explained by coal dust alone. The conspiracy theory. The darkest hypothesis suggests that Winston Churchill, then the First Lord of the Admiralty, deliberately withdrew the protective escort, viewing the loss of the Lusitania as a necessary price to drag the United States into the war. The sinking, especially with the heavy American casualties, would paint Germany as barbaric and rally American public opinion. While no direct proof of an explicit order to withdraw exists, the glaring failure to protect the Lusitania in such a known war zone remains a critical, unanswered question. The aftermath and America's intervention. Though the U.S. government, under President Woodrow Wilson, did not declare war immediately, the deaths of 128 American citizens aboard the Lusitania triggered a profound moral and political shockwave. The Lusitania incident irrevocably shifted American public opinion against World War I Germany, changing the country's view of Germany from a distant enemy to a savage aggressor willing to target civilians. It stands as one of the pivotal events that directly led to the United States officially entering the war in 1917. The mystery of the Lusitania is not just about a sunken ship. It is a story of military secrets hidden beneath a facade of luxury, of dark political calculations, and how a single maritime disaster forever altered the global balance of power. The Lusitania, proud and ill-fated, rests on the ocean floor, holding tight the secret of that second explosion and the cold calculations of those who determined her fate. So, was the Lusitania a tragic victim of unrestricted warfare? Or was she a deliberate sacrifice on the political chessboard? The answer may lie within the wreckage, deep beneath the cold waters off Ireland. Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to History Radio to join us as we explore the next great enigma.